Here we go. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. But here we have another crazy story. Another crazy story. SUAVE. Who did this to SUAVE, Drilly? Why they did it? They said a few individuals who became so bold. They got him. They said he was leaving from his parole officer. Parole officer's office. Imagine that, parole officer's office. Some individuals decided to throw it all away. But who was SUAVE though? Who was he really?
I respect it.
He said what I wanted to say. This is my brother.
This not.
I'm trolling, man. Let's go get us out the churches, man. I'm trolling.
This is what he wanted to hit, or a little freestyle. For me,
Let's go get us out the churches, man. I'm trolling, man. I'm trolling.
it's whatever they want. What they jacket? They jacket. That was dirt.
Child, that was tough. No,
that was dirt.
That was trolling with you.
That was dirt.
That was tough.
Let me know if it was dirt.
That was tough.
I got some other shit.
And for somebody
Play another beat.
And for somebody that just wrote that shit, but that shit was tough. I ain't lying.
I have to admit, SUAVE, just a young man. This he's about 26, 27 when he passed away. I'm quite certain individuals who did this to this young man, they're probably in the same age category. Most likely, they're probably friends once upon a time. But either way, SUAVE is gone right now. Individuals, keep in mind these criminals, for whatever reason, they work together. Imagine that. Imagine criminals coming together to commit a crime. But either way, this is SUAVE is gone. And I said before, check out my last videos, individuals who did this, they're on the run. Running right into the jail cell. Imagine that. Imagine running right into the jail cell. Hopefully you don't hit that wall. Because that wall's concrete. It's pretty hard. SUAVE. Some people say he was a bully. Some people say he was just living his life. I'll say, you know what? He would have been better off if he stayed in jail. Don't forget, for some of these individuals, jail is more safer than being on the streets. Imagine that. Imagine your life getting to the point where you're more safer being in jail than on the streets. Even though jail is so dangerous also.
Hold on. See, they saying W. That's what that's up. I promise you. And the thing is, you just wrote this.
I just wrote that. Where bro?
You just wrote this, bro.
Y'all gonna replay it. Y'all gonna hear me again. Y'all gonna be like, nah, he was talking.
I'm trying to tell you,
bro.
Chat, we don't see the vision for. So you want me to play the beat? Or you gonna play the other one that you
another
wrote?
Beat? You want another beat?
You gonna play another one you wrote, or the same one but just a different beat?
So that was SUAVE right there. As you can see, he's gone right now. He's not gonna have the luxury of playing the beat anymore. Tragedy. Unfortunate tragedy. That's what happened to SUAVE. Drilly. Indulging in rapping, indulging in violence, indulging in nonsense. Till one day, he went to go see his parole officer. Somebody was waiting for him. They said, SUAVE, we know you gotta check in, SUAVE. SUAVE, we know you gotta check in, SUAVE. And unfortunately, SUAVE checked in the real way. It's a terrible thing, though. Who did this to SUAVE? What are their names? What do they look like? What did they have to do yesterday? I have no idea, but one thing I do know, it's fair to say in the future, they might have that jail food. Imagine that jail food.
But you want to hear a whole song or something? Like,
I want to hear. So hold on, you been dropping shit. Right? I want to hear one of your best songs. One of your best songs in your opinion.
Right now?
Oh yeah, one of the best songs that you wrote. Or some shit.
Like recorded and all that?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to hit like and the subscribe button. Here we have another crazy story. Another sad story also. Imagine another sad story. SUAVE DRILLY from the Bronx, from New York. Big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams. They said SUAVE DRILLY, he had a dream. Maybe to become a successful rapper. at the bare minimum to live his life to be old. But someone in the city of New York decided to say, you know what, Suave, that's not going to happen because we have something else in mind for you. Imagine that. Imagine somebody else saying they have something else in mind for you. He said, what? Unbelievable story.
Nigga, I was backdoor nigga since I was in high school. Alright. Backdoor everything. Alright. I backdoor my closest man. Nigga. I'm backdoor, nigga. Backdoor, nigga.
Either way, Suave, Drilly, he's no longer here. He's no longer here to be around his friends. He used to be around his friends. Talk about, he's talking about a whole lot of, I would say unproductive things, but at the same time, he was a rapper. You need to talk about unproductive things. But either way, they said they took Suave out. He's no longer Drilly anymore. Imagine no longer Drilly anymore.
Backdoor my cousin though.
I know black like
I'm backdoor my grandma. I'm the
backdoor with something.
Imagine that. Imagine that. So that's what's going on right now. Suave is gone. No one has any idea what happened to him. Only thing you do know for certain that he was gunned down, you know, in the streets. I'm trying to figure out the individuals who did this to Suave. He must be a special type of individual. And the reason why I say this, because it takes a lot, believe it or not. You have to be a real strong individual, person, in order to take someone's life from them. Imagine that. Imagine taking someone's life from them, separating from their family, leaving them on the ground. So the individual, I'm assuming, who did this to Suave, I'm assuming it's a he. Imagine that. Imagine if it wasn't a he. I'm just assuming it's a he. So this he individual is probably saying, you know what? I know how to pull a trigger? I know how to pull a trigger. He's basically saying, I know how to behave like a 5-year-old child who's being told what to do, who get access to a weapon that they're not supposed to have access to. Imagine that. So this individual probably think he's big, he's bold, he knows what to do with it. Imagine that. Imagine not the same thing that a 5-year-old now do. Or was it a 4-year-old? I don't know. Let's not talk about children. Imagine that. Let's get back to it. So you have this individual. He's saying, you know what? I did this to Suave. Yeah, I gotta wait for a couple of days. Everybody know I'm the man. They know I'm a notorious nobody. Man's being a notorious nobody. I mean, does require, special skills to be a notorious trigger puller? Most likely not. All it requires is someone who's prepared to go to jail and who's ready to throw their lives away. Imagine that. Why did he make that decision? What was going on in his home? Why he say, you know what? I no longer want to be on the streets. I want to go to jail forever. I have no idea what was going on in this individual's mind, but the only thing I do know for certain, he made his mind up to throw it all away. Truly. I mean, I know for a fact that he must know for certain if he were to tell anybody about the crime he committed, that means he basically told 10 people. Imagine tell 10 people. Imagine telling one person about something and it turns into 10. And that 10 turns into 100. And that 100 turns to 1,000. Imagine that. That fast. But I said, most likely this individual made up his mind, you know what? I'm ready to go to jail. I'm ready to get my 3 meals a day. I don't have to worry about working. Imagine that. You don't have to do that. But why do you have to take Suave out? He probably say, you know what? Either way, RIP to Suave. He's a young man. He's probably saying, you know what, Suave? I'm guaranteed to go to life if I was to do something to you. So you know what? That's my best way to get those 3 meals guaranteed locked in. Imagine getting 3 meals guaranteed locked in. These individuals, they're so selfish. A lot of them won't think about themselves. They really do. But either way, Suave is gone. Father's gone from his children. Daughter's mad. Baby mother's mad. Everybody mad. The individual did this to Suave. He can't. He right now. He's saying, you know what? I mean, you know what? I don't know what type of individual he is. Some individuals are bold, but I'll never forget. Other day, I was just driving my car and I accidentally ran over a rabbit. And I said, "Oh my goodness! I accidentally ran over a rabbit," and I felt so bad. I was thinking about that rabbit for months and months and months. I really honestly wanted to turn myself in and say, you know what? Even though it was an accident, I was just driving. I can't figure out why that rabbit was hopping. Well, I mean, why is a rabbit hopping underneath my car? I thought squirrels were supposed to do that. That rabbit, doo, 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 doo. And I accidentally hit that rabbit. I felt bad for that rabbit. I said, oh goodness, that rabbit, wrong place at wrong time. But I felt bad for that rabbit for so long. Will this individual feel bad about Suave? Could he sleep at nights? Will his conscience bother him? Say, oh goodness, why did I do that? I don't know. Will he turn himself in like G that? Most likely, imagine that. Or will he meet an on demise? His on demise. I don't really know what's going on. Only thing I do know, Suave is gone. He can't do those fancy dances anymore. Imagine not being able to do those fancy dances anymore. Who's gonna be able to do those things? I don't know. They say rapping is dangerous, and just might be. It might be one of the most dangerous professions. Is it really like that? Or is it that individual say, you know what? 3 meals a day? What? What? Extra gravy on the side? What? What? Unbelievable. Think about it. Let's talk and that's it. Check my other videos if you like this one. F Service TV. They say crime don't pay, but I see him do it. I see him do it though.
Here we go. Here we go. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe button. Here we have another crazy story. Another crazy story. Suave Drilly. Somebody knocked him out in the worst way. Imagine somebody knock you out in the worst way. Either way, RIP to that young man right there. But imagine having a name, Drilly, meaning you're about that life. Imagine being about that life. Basically about that life or doing, you just about, doing nonsense. Like what I'm talking right now. I'm talking nonsense right now. But either way, this is Suave Drilly. He's no longer here. Who did this to this young man? Why did they do it? I have a rough idea. Actually, I don't know. Only thing I do know, they said Suave Drilly, he had a child. So now you have a fatherless child. Imagine having a fatherless child. These individuals think, because they know because they're notorious trigger pullers, they're the man. Imagine that. Imagine thinking you're the man because you're a notorious trigger puller, not realizing what comes along with it now. What comes along with after you're a notorious trigger puller? You done go ahead and took that man away from his family. You done took that man away from everything. That man doesn't even have the luxury of dancing anymore. Imagine that. Imagine not having the luxury of dancing anymore. I'm quite certain the individuals who did this to this man right here, he was a down and outer. What I mean by down and outer, down and outers don't usually have a job. They usually don't have their own rooms. They usually don't even have their, sometimes they have their own beds. Imagine that. Imagine sometimes you have your own bed. Until they get locked up, they get caught up, go to jail. Now they really have their own beds. Believe it or not, a whole lot of these individuals, I said it before, I say it again. They do these crimes to go get their own personal beds to go sleep in. It was a down and outer. He didn't have much to live for. Imagine that. Imagine having nothing to look forward to. But either way, SUAVE DRILLY, he's no longer here. Someone, instead of fighting him, they decide to unalive him. Imagine that. Imagine to unalive somebody, now you're on the run. Now you gotta look to the left, you gotta look to the right. You gotta say, oh no, why did I do that? Why did I do that? But don't forget, in the Bronx, where this happened, the Bronx is big, but it's small. This individual has no choice but to keep on looking to the left and looking to the right until he gets caught up. And once he does get caught up, you have to go to jail, and then you have to deal with the decisions that he made. Imagine that. Imagine going to jail and still have to deal with the decision that you made. Down and out. He finally got his bet though. He's probably happy. Imagine finally being happy. He don't gotta work. I mean, most likely he already wasn't working. He probably was eating 3 times a day. He probably said, you know what? At least I can eat 3 times a day and I can hang around the whole thing. Imagine that. Imagine saying, you know what? I'm guaranteed to eat 3 times a day. These individuals, they're so unproductive. But either way, you know, SUAVE DRILLY, he's no longer here. Such a young man. He was just locked up too. Imagine that. Believe it or not. Sometimes for a whole lot of these individuals being locked up is better for them than being on the streets. Imagine that. Imagine your life being so crazy where you say, you know what? I'd be better off being locked up than to be free. Believe it or not, this says SUAVE DRILLY. If he was locked up right now, there's a good chance that he'd probably still be around. I'm just talking, that's it. But at the same time, who wants to be locked up? You want to hang around with your children. You want to hang around with your family. You want to do your thing. You want to live your life. So that's what's going on right here. This young man, he was just on the streets. They said he probably went to go see his parole officer. Imagine that. Imagine going to go see a parole officer. The next thing you know, you're no longer around. It's fair to say you're not going to see a parole officer anymore. Imagine that. I'm just talking, that's it. But separation on the run. Man who did this, you know, the SUAVE DRILLY, he's on the run. SUAVE DRILLY separated from his, you know, everybody. The drill rap, basically right now, these individuals from the Bronx decide to live like Chicago individuals. And it's like the same results. Individuals are getting unalived. SUAVE DRILLY, believe it or not, I said he probably would have been better off if he stayed behind the bars. Imagine that. Or he probably would have been better off if he got a job. He definitely would have been better off if he got a job. He wouldn't have to participate in nonsense. What comes along with the nonsense is other nonsense. Imagine that. Imagine nonsense on top of nonsense. These individuals, they say they want to get rich. They want to live a good old life. They say, you know what, I'm just going to rap about crimes. Sometimes they say, you know what, I'm going to indulge in crimes. And they think, you know what, money's going to come like that. Imagine that. These individuals, they're so crazy when they think about things, when they say things. All they really get is jail time and unalive. That's all they really get. If you don't believe me, the individual who did this SUAVE DRILLY, he's going to be caught soon. He's going to realize he had no friends. Imagine finally realize you had no friends. Then you say, you know what, they got me. Why did I do that? Why didn't I just say, you know what, if I have a problem with them, why didn't I just talk it out? Or just do something else?